career as a woman in leadership. Perhaps you are a man in leadership. If you have ever wondered if you might be doing something that could be potentially sabotaging you, I want to share with you today specifically a couple of insights to consider and hidden communication traps that I have seen people accidentally fall into as it relates to how they are communicating. And I want you to avoid these communication traps because they can sabotage your career. Now, if you are new to me, welcome. My name is Dr. Jacinta, and if you are one of my absolutely amazing subscribers, welcome back, friend. This channel heavily focuses in on advanced communication skills and strategies that will give you an unfair competitive advantage as it relates to how you communicate under pressure as a leader. If you are in a situation where you are going to become highly visible in your leadership role, or you may have found yourself in a situation where you know that the way you have been communicating is not going to be the way you need to communicate at that next level, I encourage you to take a look at the playlist that I have on my channel specifically that will give you some insight and ways to set yourself apart from everybody else. Now, how many of you have been in a situation where you have seen someone sabotage their career that they communicated? Put it in the comments below. Let me know if you've ever experienced that. Now, I've been in senior executive roles for more than 20 years. And I want to let you know that I have seen these errors, these mistakes happen time and time again. And I want to make sure you're avoiding these hidden traps. The very first hidden communication trap that can sabotage your career, that I have seen people make the mistake of that has sabotaged their careers, is to not be consistent. Now, I say this first, and you may be thinking, well, what does that have to do with communication? Let me explain. When I have seen great leaders, and I have seen some really great C-suite executive leaders, I've seen some world leaders, I've seen some leaders that are able to make a big impact in terms of what they're doing in their particular industry. When I start to notice that they are not communicating in a consistent way, meaning that if they communicate in a more authentic, polished way to begin with, but then they start to act a bit more lax, they start to speak in a way that was not the same as it did in the past, this is one of the reasons why people's careers are sabotaged in terms of how they communicate, because they are not communicating the way they did before. Now, I want to say hello and welcome to those of you watching the live today. Let me know in the comments below, first, where are you joining from today? And then number two, have you ever seen someone sabotage themselves in terms of their career, especially as they communicate as a leader? Put in the comments below. I want to say hello to Pong. Hello, hope you're doing well today. We have Basmala. I hope I said that correctly today. And Basmala says, good morning. Good morning, friends. This is the only channel on YouTube that has over 1,100 videos on it that are dedicated to high stakes communication, meaning when you are communicating under pressure, maybe you're in a salary negotiation, or you're in front of a board, or you are presenting in front of a group. If you want to be that person that stands out, that develops an unfair competitive advantage and does not freeze, then this is the best channel for you to join specifically and to subscribe to. So we have Pam Sandsmart. I don't know what you're referring to. I'm going to go ahead and hide you from the channel because you're saying something that seems to be definitely not appropriate for this channel, and this is definitely not the place for you. Okay, as I mentioned, being inconsistent with the way that you communicate will sabotage your career. If you are starting a new role as a leader and etc., you have to communicate the same way. It's non-negotiable. If you come into, let's say, an interview and you present yourself as one way, then you need to continue being that way. If you change it, then your career will automatically be sabotaged. It will happen. People will say, well, that's not the way they acted in the interview, or they didn't conduct themselves that way initially. Don't fall into that communication trap. Let me know what other traps you've seen people fall for as it relates to how they communicate that has sabotaged their career. Put it in the comments below. All right, Basmala says, how are you? I'm doing fantastically well, friend. Thank you for asking. Another hidden communication trap that I want you to avoid. So we've talked about consistency. Being consistent in the way you are communicating is incredibly important. If you are the person that communicates in a more lax way, then stay that way, okay? Or try to elevate. But you don't want to be the person that is communicating at a higher level and then you stoop down to the lower level. You don't want to do that. The second hidden mistake that people make, oftentimes as it relates to how they communicate, has a lot to do with their word choices. So let me give you an example of this. I have seen leaders use words that are not affirmative, meaning when they speak, you almost get the sense that they are not confident or they are doubting themselves. If you are presenting yourself in front of a group or even in a one-on-one situation where you're speaking to someone and you are saying words such as maybe, I think so, I'm not sure, let me find out, all of those words can lead someone to believe that you are not confident as you would like to be when you are communicating. And this is the reason why being mindful of what you say, focusing on words that are more affirmative. I can do this. I would also focus in on specifically, this is what happened. If you speak more in terms of how things are being observed or perceived as, it will be very helpful for you. Having that ability to speak in a more affirmative way, not in a way where you are not confident, where you're not saying, I think, I'm not sure. Those words will sabotage your career. It will prevent you from being able to grow, which is why I have that on my list. Basmala says, where are you from? I am from Florida in the United States. Now, let me know where you all are joining from today. And let me know if you've ever seen someone fall into one of these hidden communication traps that I've mentioned. Consistency and word choice is critically important. You definitely want to make sure you don't fall into those traps. Now, I'm going to give you one more hidden communication trap that I see people do often when they are trying to elevate in their careers, but they find themselves in a place where they are sabotaging their careers. Are you ready? This one specifically is very, very interesting. Now, I'm not going to talk about the advanced communication skills I talk on this channel. Eye contact, facial expressions, and silence. I'm not talking about that. But I do want to say that typically when people are sabotaging themselves in terms of how they communicate, a lot of it will have to do with their nonverbal communication. Now, people, what I have found that happens oftentimes when they are trying to convey a message, they may not be able to control how they respond non-verbally in that particular exchange, meaning that they may start to fidget or they will show that they are uncomfortable with what is being said. They may find themselves in a situation where they show that they are not confident in what they are doing or what they are saying. This will sabotage your career, because if you're trying to move forward in your career and grow, if you are at a place where you can't communicate in a confident way, you can't communicate in an affirmative way, verbally and non-verbally, it will cost you. It will sabotage your career. Let me know what